Hello everyone, welcome to Margee. This is our third lecture in lecture series on economic survey. In first two lecture we have seen first two chapter of economic survey. We will today see chapter number 3 and 4. Chapter 3 is related to external sector. Chapter 3 is related to external sector. Means it mainly focuses on what is ongoing in global economic circle. See, due to COVID-19 uncertainty, no definite trend can be visible in the global trade, but now as this pandemic is on downward slope, we can see some activity trade related trends. Economic survey first states what is global economic environment currently. It states that we are witnessing acceleration in economic activity. We are witnessing acceleration in economic activity. You can see in this graph clearly two things have been shown in this graph. World trade volume, जागतिक व्यापाराचं किती व्हॉल्यूम आहे हे दाखवलेलं आहे. And then there is stats related to world merchandise trade volume. This red line denotes world merchandise trade volume and this graph denotes world trade volume. See, during COVID-19, that is 2020, it was in negative. This whole world trade volume and world merchandise trade was in negative. But now you can witness there is a jump in this trade volume or merchandise trade volume. And you can see the rate of growth is above the pre-pandemic level. It is above the pre-pandemic level. But up to certain extent, this increased rate is due to the lower base effect. इथे कमी आहे होतं म्हणून इथे रेट जास्त दिसतोय. Still, it is a good sign for global economy as it is showing that global economy is recovering. आतापर्यंतच्या दोन चॅप्टर मध्ये आपण बघितलं की इंडियन इकॉनॉमी बऱ्यापैकी रिकव्हरीवर आहे. गव्हर्नमेंट म्हणते की वी आर विटनेसिंग व्ही शेप रिकव्हरी. In that context, it is also good sign for Indian economy also that world economy is also recovering. Then in 2021, economic survey says that inflation has picked up globally. We have seen in the first and second chapter that in Indian scenario, CPI, Consumer Price Index, was within manageable limit or within tolerable limit. It was 5.2% in the Indian context. CPI inflation was 5.2%. You must be aware that our band limit or inflation target is 4 plus minus 2. Means it was within this manageable limit of 6%. In context of world economy, but inflation is on the rise. Means if you consider the example of USA, inflation was 6.8% in November 2021, which is highest since the 1982. 1982 नंतर US मध्ये 6.8% जे इन्फ्लेशन विटनेस झालं नोव्हेंबर 2021 मध्ये. इट वॉज हायेस्ट सिन्स 1928. मेन रिझन फॉर दिस वर्ल्ड level inflation or inflation in USA was due to the energy and food prices. You must be aware that the oil producing country have cut down their supply and that's why oil prices have increased. Other reasons were also there, but main reason for this inflation was energy and food prices. We have seen in the first chapter that economic survey have used one term, imported inflation. Due to higher oil prices, we are witnessing this imported inflation, and economic survey said that we should not worry that much because this inflation is of imported origin. Then economic survey says that this condition of inflation, this condition of inflation may result in some adverse effect. सुरुवातीलाच आपण काय बघितलं की मर्चंडाइज ट्रेड बघितला किंवा ट्रेड व्हॉल्यूम बघितलं तर ग्लोबल इकॉनॉमी रिकव्हरी होताना दिसते. But due to this inflation trade, like 6.8% inflation in USA, some some negative impact may happen. काही नकारात्मक परिणाम त्याच्यामुळे होऊ शकतात. See, if there is inflation, what monetary policy or what central authority or central bank of the country will do? It will try to remove or reduce the liquidity from the market. Liquidity कमी करून ते inflation कमी करण्याचा प्रयत्न करतील. So, what economic survey is saying that it may result in tightening of financial conditions. It will adversely affect capital flows. It will put pressure on exchange rate and slow down the growth. मेजर रिझन यांच्या म्हणण्यानुसार इन्फ्लेशनचं काय आहे, जे सेंट्रल बँक किंवा बाकीच्यांना असं वाटतं की जो स्टिम्युलस फिस्कल स्टिम्युलस देण्यात आला होता पॅन्डेमिक काळामध्ये, त्या फिस्कल स्टिम्युलसमुळे लिक्विडिटी मार्केटमधली वाढली. हिअर इट इज मेन्शन्ड पॅन्डेमिक लेड स्टिम्युलस. पॅन्डेमिकमुळे जो फिस्कल स्टिम्युलस मेजर कंट्रीने दिला, that because of that stimulus liquidity increase in the market, and because of that liquidity we are witnessing inflation. जर तो फिस्कल स्टिम्युलस काढून घेतला तर इन्फ्लेशन कंट्रोल मध्ये येईल, बट इट मे अफेक्ट ग्रोथ. You must be aware that in Indian context, because that inflation was within manageable limit, that is 5.2%, RBI can afford to have accommodative monetary policy stance. What is accommodative monetary policy stance? It means RBI is giving importance to growth rather than inflation, and it may reduce the policy rate in the future, or it is certain that it will not increase its benchmark policy rates. म्हणजे मार्केटला खात्री आहे की आरबीआय रेपो रेट किंवा त्यांचे जे दुसरे बेंचमार्क रेट्स आहेत ते इन्क्रीज करणार नाही. इट विल ensure that adequate liquidity is there in the market because inflation in the check and we are prioritizing growth. But in the context of world economy, as inflation is on upward trend, the central bank of this countries, developed country, may give preference for inflation targeting, which will impact growth. That is the saying of the economic survey. We will see what is the development in India's merchandise trade. We have seen that world's merchandise trade that was contracted during the COVID-19 pandemic is showing upward trend, and it has gone above the pre-pandemic level. We will see what has happened in India's context. In India's context, following global trend, India's merchandise export also have recovered and it has registered positive growth. So in India's context also, merchandise export is witnessing positive growth. See, our export target for year 2021 and 22 is $400. What is our export target for year 2021-22? It is 400 billion, and we have achieved 75% of it. Means आतापर्यंत आपला एक्सपोर्ट ह्या इयर मध्ये $301.4 झालेला आहे. आपलं टार्गेट होतं $400 बिलियन या इयर साठी, त्यातलं 75% आपण आधीच अचीव्ह केलेलं आहे. आपलं 2000 एप्रिल डिसेंबर पिरियडचं जर टार्गेट बघितलं तर ते $300 होतं. त्या कंटेक्स्ट मध्ये आपण खूप जास्त एक्सपोर्ट मध्ये प्रगती केलेली आहे आत्ताच्या कंटेक्स्ट मध्ये असं म्हणू शकतो. सी व्हॉट इज आवर टार्गेट? $400 बिलियन. वी हॅव अचीव्ड इट. It's 75%. Then this means we are well on the track as far as attaining the export target is concerned. 75% आताच अचीव्ह झालेल्यामुळे आपण बऱ्यापैकी ट्रॅक वरती आहोत असं म्हणू शकतो. Why this export led positive side is visible in context of India? कशामुळे एक्सपोर्ट आपण तितका अचीव्ह केला याचे रिझन्स इकॉनॉमिक सर्व्हेने दिलेले आहेत. One reason is sharp recovery in the key markets. जगातल्या महत्वाच्या मार्केट्स मध्ये रिकव्हरी झाल्यामुळे आपल्याला तो स्कोप मिळाला एक्सपोर्ट करण्यासाठी. Then increase consumer spending after the COVID-19. Consumer spending has increased. Pent up saving. This is a term that you must understand. What is pent up saving? ती इन मोस्ट ऑफ द डेव्हलप कंट्रीज किंवा जे श्रीमंत लोक आहेत त्यांच्या बाबतीत काय झालेलं असणार आहे की ह्या अनसर्टन इन्व्हायरमेंटमध्ये कोविड-19 पॅन्डेमिकच्या त्यांनी आपले कन्झम्पशनचे डिसिजन तुर्तास बाजूला ठेवले असतील. म्हणजे कोविड-19च्या अनसर्टन कंडिशनमध्ये काहीतरी इन्व्हेस्ट करण्यापेक्षा काहीतरी कन्झ्युम करण्यापेक्षा ते काय करतील, दे विल प्रेफर टू सेव्ह. सो in such uncertain condition there is increased saving among this affluent section. This saving is known as pent up saving. आणि ही पेंट अप सेव्हिंग एकदा ते डिसरप्शन किंवा एकदा ती इकॉनॉमिक कंडिशन स्टेबल झाली की कन्झ्युम करण्याकडे वाढता कल दिसतो. वी हॅव ऑल्सो सीन के शेप रिकव्हरी इन इंडियाज कंटेक्स्ट. आणि एक्सपर्ट असं म्हणतात की हा जो वरती जाणारा भाग आहे तो ॲफ्लुएंट सेक्शनच्या कन्झम्पशनमुळे त्यांचं पेंट अप सेव्हिंग आहे, पण जे लोअर सेक्शनला आहेत त्यांचं सेव्हिंग नाही उलट डिस सेव्हिंग झालं. त्याच्यामुळे अंडरस्टँड दिस कन्सेप्ट पेंट अप सेव्हिंग. Then we have seen that various government fiscal stimulus was there during pandemic. त्याच्यामुळे पण डिस्पोजेबल इन्कम प्रायव्हेट इंडिव्हिज्युअलचं इन्क्रीज झालं. फर्स्ट वी आर सीइंग व्हॉट आर द रिझन्स फॉर इंडियाज इन्क्रीज एक्सपोर्ट. त्यातलं पहिलं रिझन आहे शार्प रिकव्हरी इन की मार्केट्स. कोविड-19 पॅन्डेमिक नंतर रिकव्हरी शार्प होताना दिसते. इन्क्रीज कन्झ्युमर स्पेंडिंग. वन ऑफ द रिझन बिकॉज ऑफ फॉर इट इज दॅट पेंट अप सेव्हिंग वेअर देअर. देन disposable income due to fiscal stimulus was there. Then global commodity price rise. See, आत्ताच आपण बघितलं की इन्फ्लेशन मेजर इकॉनॉमीमध्ये वाढत चाललेली आहे. त्याच्या तुलनेत भारतामध्ये इंडियामध्ये इन्फ्लेशन विदिन मॅनेजेबल लिमिट आहे. सो रिलेटिव्हली और कंपॅरेटिव्हली इंडियन गुड्स प्राइस आर चीपर इन द इंटरनॅशनल मार्केट. तर इंडियन गुड्सच्या प्राइसेस इंटरनॅशनल मार्केटमध्ये कंपॅरेटिव्हली चीपर असतील. सो आणि ग्लोबल कमोडिटीच्या प्राइसेस जास्त वाढलेल्या असतील. सो डिमांड फॉर इंडियन गुड विल बी देअर. देन देर आर ऑल्सो अग्रेसिव्ह एक्सपोर्ट पुश बाय द गव्हर्नमेंट. गव्हर्नमेंटच्या पॉलिसी सुद्धा याला कारणीभूत आहेत. अशा 5 रिझन त्यांनी एक्सपोर्ट इन्क्रीज साठी दिलेले आहेत. नंतर त्यांनी एक्सपोर्टच्या गव्हर्नमेंटच्या कुठल्या कुठल्या स्कीम आहेत त्या सुद्धा मेन्शन केलेल्या आहेत. दॅट वी विल सी. क्रूड ऑइल प्राइसेसचे प्राइस वाढल्यामुळे पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स कंटिन्यू टू बी मोस्ट एक्सपोर्टेड कमोडिटी इन इंडिया. which is the most exported commodity in Indian context. It is petroleum products. We will see sector-wise analysis of how export is working. Export of agriculture and allied products. Agriculture and allied products export 31 US dollar होतं. 31 billion US dollar. That is our agriculture export. You must be aware of agriculture export policy. Agriculture export policy of 2018. It has set a target of doubling agriculture export. म्हणजे आपला ॲग्रिकल्चर एक्सपोर्ट 30 बिलियन US डॉलरच्या आसपास आहे. सी हिअर ऑल्सो इट इज 31. आणि टार्गेट ठेवण्यात आलं होतं 2022 पर्यंत 60 बिलियन US डॉलरचं. सो वी आर फार फ्रॉम इट स्टील. Various export-led government initiatives in agriculture sector are there is APEDA, Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority. Though this authority is related to export, it also manage import related to sugar. Then there is a transport and marketing assistance. There is a Krishi Udan. So all this scheme related to agriculture led to increase in agriculture export or having positive impact on agriculture export. This is a graph representing Indian agriculture export. See, almost it has remained at the 30 billion US dollar. 30 बिलियन US डॉलरच्या आसपास ते राहिलेला दिसतो. कधी आता एप्रिल नोव्हेंबर 2020 पॅन्डेमिक काळात थोडासा कमी झालेला होता, बट इट हॅज अगेन रजिस्टर्ड ग्रोथ. सो आय हॅव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड व्हॉट इज अवर टार्गेट 60 बिलियन डॉलर इन नियर फ्युचर आणि आपल्याला नंतर तो 100 बिलियन पर्यंत पण न्यायचा आहे. दिस इज सेइंग ऑफ ॲग्रिकल्चर एक्सपोर्ट पॉलिसी 2018. So have just brief idea of this ट्रेंड ऑफ ॲग्रिकल्चर एक्सपोर्ट. कोणत्या देशाला आपण सगळ्यात जास्त ॲग्रिकल्चर एक्सपोर्ट करतो किंवा एक्सपोर्ट सगळ्यात जास्त कुठल्या देशाला करतो? तर दॅट इज युनायटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका. दिस इज प्रिलिम रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन दॅट कॅन बी आस्क्ड. USA is our top export destination. You must be aware that we are having current account surplus with US. After USA, we are having second export destination as UAE, and third is China. Many people may get confused or mark it wrong because असं परसेप्शन आहे की आपण चायनाकडून फक्त इम्पोर्टच जास्त करतो, बट comparatively we are also exporting some items to China. So first is USA, second is UAE, and third is China. These are top 3 export destination in context of India. या देशांना आपण सगळ्यात जास्त एक्सपोर्ट करतो. If you are following newspaper regularly, you must be aware that we are having trade agreement with UAE. So UAE is important trade partner for us. These graph show what are the 10 export destination for India. As I said earlier, USA is the topmost export destination for us. Then second is UAE, third is China, fourth is Bangladesh. See, Bangladesh is our largest trading partner in South Asia, and it is also fourth largest export destination for India. This was asked by UPSC in a prelim, that statement was given that Sri Lanka is largest trading partner for India in the South Asia, but for India it is Bangladesh. Bangladesh is our largest trading partner in South Asia. If you are keenly following newspaper or if you have done agriculture topic for your mains, you must have aware that many experts believe that India should diversify its export bracket. India should diversify its export. What does mean? It means it should export to various region. Regional लेवलला डायव्हर्सिफिकेशन झालं पाहिजे अँड कमोडिटी लेवलला डायव्हर्सिफिकेशन झालेलं पाहिजे. मीन्स वी आर एक्सपोर्टिंग पर्टिक्युलर कमोडिटी बट स्टील हॅव्हिंग पोटेन्शियल. म्हणजे आपल्या भारतातल्या प्रत्येक डिस्ट्रिक्टमध्ये कुठला तरी वेगवेगळा प्रोडक्ट लावला जातो, परंतु एक्सपोर्ट बघताना काही पर्टिक्युलर कमोडिटीज 7-8 कमोडिटीज आपल्या एक्सपोर्ट बास्केट जास्त आपल्याला दिसतो. सो व्हॉट diversification in export we want? We mainly see what economic survey shows. Though India has diversified its export destination in last 25 years, yet more than 40% of India's export, 40% पेक्षा जास्त इंडियाचा जो एक्सपोर्ट आहे, still accounted by only 7 countries. 7 कंट्री मध्ये आपण आपला 40% एक्सपोर्ट करतो. So there is a great scope for diversification. Means we can target African market, we can target Latin American market, we can target South Asian market. That is the thinking of the expert, or that will be also economically beneficial for us or for our economy. Then we will see another stats related to what are the top agriculture products that are being exported. See, I have told that diversification should be at a 2 level. One is at a region level, and second is at a commodity level. See, these are the 10 commodities that are exported most. You must knowing at least 3 or 4 for your prelim. म्हणजे पहिलं कोण आहे ज्याचं सगळ्यात जास्त ऍग्रिकल्चर एक्सपोर्ट आपण करतो? सेकंड कोण आहे? फर्स्ट इज मरीन प्रोडक्ट्स. Marine products are having largest export value in India's agriculture export. Then second is rice other than basmati. See, India is largest rice exporting nation. In last 5 years, we are एक्सपोर्टिंग राईस अँड वी आर टॉप इन दॅट. आपण पहिले आहोत राईस एक्सपोर्ट मध्ये, दो वी आर सेकंड इन द राईस प्रोडक्शन. Majority of the thinkers say that with agriculture export, with agriculture commodity export, we are exporting water. इतकं प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस मध्ये आपण पाणी वापरतो की वी आर ऑल्सो एक्सपोर्टिंग वॉटर. दिस इज नोन ॲज व्हर्च्युअल ट्रेड ऑफ वॉटर. ग्लोबल वॉटर फुटप्रिंट नेटवर्क आहे, त्यांचं पण असं म्हणणं आहे की व्हॉट इंडिया इज एक्सपोर्टिंग, इट इज नॉट एक्सपोर्टिंग ॲग्रिकल्चर कमोडिटी बट वी आर एक्सपोर्टिंग वॉटर. तो डायव्हर्सिफिकेशनचा त्या एक सेन्स मध्ये आपल्या एन्व्हायरमेंटला पण फायदा आहे की डायव्हर्सिफिकेशन केलं आणि लिस्ट वॉटर मोर वॉटर इफिशियंट क्रॉप जर आपण एक्सपोर्ट केले तर त्याचा आपल्या एन्व्हायरमेंटला पण फायदा होऊ शकतो. थर्ड इन द एक्सपोर्ट इज स्पायसेस. फोर्थ इज शुगर. फिफ्थ इज बफेलो मीट. So these are the few stats related to exports that are beneficial for your preliminary examination. India is also negotiating free trade agreement with several partners, both bilateral as well as regional. So Economic Survey have given some examples of its negotiation of free trade agreement, like comprehensive economic partnership agreement between India and Australia, FTA with Union. Just go through this list. Many times UPSC have asked question related to these in UPSC prelim. For mains, you must be aware of Model BIT of India. Model BIT of India that was published in 2016. So it is a potential question, what changes government has introduced in this Model BIT and what were earlier provisions. So there is also investment model topic in your GS3. You must be prepared for this Model BIT of 2016. How government has changed the definition of investment, how it has removed the clause of MFN, that is most favored nation, that you should be aware of. Then India-US Trade Policy Forum discussion were held in 2021. There discussion were held related to social security agreement and mutual recognition agreement in nursing services and accountancy services. See, what UPSC can ask in UPSC prelim is that recently India held discussion related to social security agreement and mutual recognition agreement with which of the following country? So that will be USA. What is this mutual recognition agreement? Means consider Indian nurses going for service in USA. If they are recognized in India, if they are recognized institutionally or legally in India, they will also be recognized in USA. So it will lead to better mobility of labor. This is mutual recognition agreement. Then I have said that survey have mentioned some major scheme and initiative to boost exports. We will see what are the schemes that are mentioned in the survey. First scheme that is mentioned and very important for your prelim as well as mains is remission of duties and taxes on exported products. The scheme is named Remission of Duties and Taxes on Exported Products, also short named as RoadTape. This scheme is important because this is WTO compliant. See, you must be aware of various WTO measures. One measure in that is countervailing duty. Countervailing duty. This countervailing duty can be imposed by the importing country if they are convinced that due to the export subsidy that is given by the exporting country, our domestic industry is getting ruined. जर चायनामधून समजा एखादा प्रोडक्ट इंडियामध्ये एक्सपोर्ट केला जात असेल आणि आपल्याला इंडियाला असं वाटलं की चायनाने स्पेसिफिकली एक्सपोर्टसाठी जी दिलेल्या सबसिडी आहेत त्या सबसिडीमुळे इंडियाच्या डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीला हॅम्पर होतंय, ट्रेड डिसॉर्टेशन होतंय, सो इंडिया कॅन इम्पोज दिस काउंटरवेलिंग ड्युटी. You can read in various news articles that India occasionally चायनावरती ह्या काउंटरवेलिंग ड्युटी लावतो. So it is important that whatever export measures or export boosting measures we are taking, that should be WTO compliant. One of the important feature of this remission of duties and taxes on exported product is that it is WTO compliant scheme. ही ट्रेड डिसऑर्टिंग नाहीये किंवा WTO मध्ये चॅलेंज होईल अशी नाहीये. इट इज WTO compliant. This scheme replaced earlier merchandise export from India scheme. This was challenged in the WTO or it was not WTO compliant. So according to international standard, we have introduced this scheme roadmap. What is remission on duties? See, what is the basic purpose of this scheme is that with export we should not export our duties. जे आपल्या देशात प्रोडक्ट बनतं त्याच्यावर वेगवेगळ्या ड्युटीज देशांतर्गत लावल्या जातात. ज्या वेळेला एखादं प्रोडक्ट एक्सपोर्ट होतं त्यावेळेला त्या ड्युटीजमुळे त्याची प्राइस आर्टिफिशियली वाढते आणि एक प्रकारे ड्युटीज पण एक्सपोर्ट होतात. सो व्हॉट दिस स्कीम डू इज दॅट it says that duties should not be exported and it reimburses various duties incurred in the process of manufacture and distribution of exported products. And त्यामुळे काय होतं, डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीला लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड इन्शुअर होते. अगेन रिपीट, काय होतं की वेगवेगळ्या ड्युटीज जशा की मंडी टॅक्स, देर इज स्टॅम्प ड्युटी, देर इज अ वॅट, देर इज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ड्युटी. या सगळ्या ड्युटींमुळे काय होतं की आपला जो प्रोडक्ट आहे डोमेस्टिक इंडस्ट्रीचा तो इंटरनॅशनल मार्केटमध्ये महाग होतो. एक प्रकारे आपण ड्युटीज त्याच्या प्रोडक्ट सोबत एक्सपोर्ट करतो. तो कंपॅरेटिव्ह ऍडव्हान्टेज आपल्याला कमी मिळतं. ते होऊ नये म्हणून अशा ड्युटीज वरती रिमिशन दिलं जातं. रिमिशन ऑफ ड्युटीज अँड टॅक्सेस ऑन एक्सपोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट. Then second scheme related to export promotion is developing district as an export hub. Developing district as an export hub. What is this? तर स्कीमच्या नावातच दिसतंय की आपल्याला आपले जे डिस्ट्रिक्ट आहेत ते एक्सपोर्ट हब म्हणून डेव्हलप करायचे आहेत. फॉर दिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट एक्सपोर्ट प्रमोशन कमिटी आर इस्टॅब्लिश्ड इन ईच डिस्ट्रिक्ट. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टंट. District Export Promotion Committee has been established in the each district. आणि त्यांनी काय करतील ते की जे प्रोडक्टचं एक्सपोर्ट पोटेन्शियल आहे त्याला प्रमोट करतील. दॅट विल इन्क्लूड ऍग्रिकल्चर or those products having geographical indication or having toy cluster. So it has been set up in all 739 districts across the country. भारतातल्या सर्व 739 जिल्ह्यांमध्ये हे लागू करण्यात आलेली आहे. सो फर्स्ट स्कीम वॉज रोड टॅप, सेकंड स्कीम इज डेव्हलपिंग डिस्ट्रिक्ट ॲज अ एक्सपोर्ट हब. थर्ड स्कीम इज अ प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इन्सेंटिव्ह स्कीम. दिस इज, as a name suggests, you will be incentivized according to your incremental production. Government provides incentive to companies on incremental sales for a product manufactured in domestic unit. Production linked incentive scheme. Third is electronic platform for preferential certificate of origin. What is certificate of origin? See, आपल्या बऱ्याच कंट्रीज सोबत फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट असतात किंवा ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट असतात. या ट्रेड अग्रीमेंटचा दुसऱ्या कुठल्या तरी देशांनी दुरुपयोग करू नये म्हणून ऍक्च्युअली कुठल्या कंट्री मधून ते प्रोडक्ट ओरिजिन झालेलं आहे याचा शिक्का त्या प्रोडक्टवरती असतो. सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन. This certificate of origin was also contentious issue in RCEP agreement, that is Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. काय इंडियाचा इश्यू होता की या सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिनचे नियम जर हार्ड नसतील किंवा कठोर नसतील तर चायना त्याचा दुरुपयोग करून घेऊ शकतो. म्हणजे चायना काय दाखवू शकतो की इंडोनेशियामध्ये किंवा दुसऱ्या कुठल्या तरी देशामध्ये प्रोडक्ट ओरिजिन झालेला आहे किंवा त्यांना ते एक्सपोर्ट करून नंतर तिकडून रिरूट करू शकतं इंडियाकडे. सो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. कोविडच्या कंटेक्स्ट मध्ये हे सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन फिजिकली अक्वायर करणं अवघड होतं, त्यामुळे गव्हर्नमेंटने इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्लॅटफॉर्म लॉन्च केला फॉर प्रेफरन्शियल सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ ओरिजिन. That is the scheme. Then there is Exim Bank also there, Export Import Bank of India. Government is infusing more capital in this bank. Exim Bank, Export Import Bank. Then Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited is there for export promotion. Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited. See, various banks give credit to the exporters. आता हे एक्सपोर्टर्सला कर्ज देण्यामध्ये काही जोखीम बँकांना आहे. देर इज सम काइंड ऑफ रिस्क इज देअर. सो व्हॉट दिस कोऑपरेशन डू? दिस कोऑपरेशन प्रोव्हाइड्स इन्शुरन्स कव्हर टू बँक अगेन्स्ट द रिस्क. म्हणजे इन्शुरन्स दिल्यामुळे काय होणार, या बँकांनी जे एक्सपोर्ट क्रेडिट लेंडिंग आहे ते रिस्क फ्री किंवा रिस्क त्यातली मिनिमाइज होऊ शकते. सो दिस इज पर्पज ऑफ एक्सपोर्ट क्रेडिट गॅरंटी कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड. Then another scheme like export promotion of capital goods scheme is there. Then there is special economic zones. This is also one way or the other in the news. Market access initiative. So those are preparing for prelims. Just go through these schemes for your 2022 attempt. This question can be directly asked also in mains. What are the government initiative regarding the export promotion? Then having efficient logistics is must to boost the export. You must be aware that India's logistic cost is about 14% of GDP. India's logistic cost is about 14% of GDP, which is significantly higher than the developed countries like USA and also very much higher than the country like China. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, आता लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट म्हणजे काय, तर तुमच्या जे मालाची ने-आण होते, लॉजिस्टिक्सचा जो खर्च आहे तो जास्त झाल्यामुळे काय होणार, परत तुमचा जो माल आहे, देशातला प्रोडक्ट आहे ते महाग होणार इंटरनॅशनल मार्केटमध्ये. सो अगेन कंपॅरेटिव्ह ऍडव्हान्टेज विल बी लेस फॉर इंडिया. इकॉनॉमिक सर्वे इज सेइंग दॅट वी आर प्रोग्रेसिंग इन दिस कंटेक्स्ट. वी आर विटनेसिंग प्रोग्रेस इन द लॉजिस्टिक्स ऑल्सो. देयर इज वन रिपोर्ट by report named Global Survey on Digital and Sustainable Trade. This can be also directly asked in prelim, and also you can quote this survey in mains. You can use this to substantiate your point in mains. See this, what is Global Survey on Digital and Sustainable Trade? This report is by UNESCAP, that is United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia Pacific. In this 2021 edition, we have scored 90.3, which is very good score considering our last 2019 score of 78.5. So prelim ला कुठला प्रश्न येऊ शकतो की ग्लोबल सर्वे ऑन डिजिटल अँड सस्टेनेबल ट्रेड कोण पब्लिश करतं? दॅट इज युनायटेड नेशन्स इकॉनॉमिक अँड सोशल कमिशन फॉर आशिया स्पेसिफिक. And for mains, you can show the progress in the score to underscore India's efficient logistic ecosystem. This survey also noted that India is the best performing country when compared to South and Southwest Asia and Asia Pacific region. So in this region, we are best performing. So this is again, you can quote in main. Then, till now we have seen data related to merchandise export. Now we will see what is the condition related to merchandise imports. Merchandise import also grew at the rate of 68.9%. It is now at the level of 443.8 billion US dollar. You don't have to remember this fact, but we are witnessing now improvement in merchandise imports also. What is the most imported item in the context of India? That is crude petroleum. Crude petroleum is the most imported item for the perspective of India. This is highest imported commodity. We will see top 10 importing nation in the context of India. We have seen top 10 exporting country in the context of India, and we have seen that USA is first, second is UAE, and third is China. Now we will see what are the top 10 import sources for India. First is obviously China. We are having huge trade deficit, about $60 billion with the China. Second is UAE. See the importance of UAE in the context of Indian economy. It is third exporting destination for India. It is second destination for the import. Then the third importing country in the context of India is USA. Fourth is Saudi Arabia. So you must have idea related to top 10 import sources in the context of India. Then we will see what is the condition of merchandise trade balance. We have seen what is merchandise trade export. We have seen what is condition of merchandise trade import. Now we will see what is merchandise condition of merchandise trade balance. We have seen till now that both merchandise export as well as imports have rebounded strongly and surpassed pre-pandemic level. India had the most favorable trade between USA followed by Bangladesh, Nepal. What is it is known as trade balance is in favor of India. Means we are exporting more to this country than importing. So most favorable trade balance is in context of USA, second is in context of Bangladesh, and third is in Nepal. So you can remember these three kind of fact. One is top export destination, second is top import destination, third is with whom we have the most favorable trade balance. Then we will see what is the condition of trade in services. First in that is services export. India's services export also recorded a growth of 18.4%. We have witnessed 18.4% growth in India's services export. Top three component in India's services export are computer, business, and transportation services, which constitute 80% of India's total services export. Again, repeat this point. Top three service export from India are in terms of computer, business, and transportation services, which constitute more than 80% of total services export. In context of services import, that also grew by 21.5%. You don't have to remember what is the amount or what is the figure of this imports. This import is majorly in the terms of payment for businesses, transport, travel, computer services. This constitute about 75% import. We have seen what our 80% export is all about, that is computer, business, and transportation services. Our 75% services imports is about payment for businesses, transport, travel, and computer services. Then private transfers that mainly constitute remittances. Remittances means our diaspora that send their share of income to their family or household, that is known as remittances. That has also grown by 7.2%. So it has also exceeded pre-pandemic level. Due to the pandemic, these remittances were also affected because there was restrictions on the movement. There were job losses. So because of that, these remittances got affected also. Then what is the condition of India's current account balance? We have seen in the first chapter that during the pandemic, up to certain time, India were in the current account surplus. But usually we witness CAD, that is current account deficit, because we import more than the export. So that condition of generally this condition is observed, and now this is again observed in the context of India. Though economic survey says that we are witnessing CAD to manageable limit. Then we will see what is the condition of capital account and financial account. We will see now what is the condition of capital account and financial account. The net capital flows have tripled to US 65.6 billion. So it has also increased in context of India. What is the largest component of capital account in context of India? That is foreign investment. Then that consists of foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment. This is the largest component of capital account in context of India. Which services or which sector attracted the highest FDI equity is also a prelim related question that can be asked. One is computer software and second is hardware that attracted highest FDI equity inflows in context of India. This is again important for India or for your prelim exam. Which of the following is the top investing country in terms of FDI equity? Singapore is the top investing country in terms of the FDI, and second position is of USA. First is Singapore and second is USA. This chart shows which are the sectors that are attracting highest FDI. We have seen that is computer software attracting highest FDI, and this is showing top investing countries in terms of FDI. These questions are of priority or favorite questions of UPSC. So remember this fact or go through this fact for your UPSC prelim. FDI flows remain volatile due to global uncertainties. That is sure, because investor will not invest in such uncertain condition. So FDI and FPI flow remain volatile. We will see what is the condition of external debt of the India. In last lecture, we have seen that India's external debt is not that much prone to the currency risk or interest rate risk, because first is our loan from external sources is very minimum. Still, we will see commercial borrowing were the largest component of external debt, followed by NRI deposits. So this fact you should just go through. Which currency denominated debt remained the largest component of India's external debt? US dollar. Obviously, it is the strongest currency in terms of world economy. So US dollar denominated the largest component of India's external debt. So this was the third chapter of economics survey. We will in our next lecture see fourth and fifth chapter of economics survey. Thank you for joining the discussion.